Monday, it's August 21st, 2023. Um, it would have been my grandmother's 104th birthday. I'm in light that looks like this. And I'm just looking for a friendly face out somewhere in the expanse of space. These were the 7 forefathers of NASA, as far as I'm concerned. They're the only ones. I mean, like, if if someone painted my human arrival, I mean, I arrived in plain view. They moved me into a house that had a 718 area code. My grandfather from the Po River area of a significance with the Alpini, he was in a 718 area code. He was significant for my arrival. He had a granddaughter already that when he got the 718 number, who was going to be somebody. I still am that somebody. It was in this demographic. It was in this aerospace program. Like his birthday, this one is 7/18, July 18th. It's important. So again, just looking for friends at the 7. And I'm trying to piece this together. Shadow projects. Somebody has like they said now. Now, like, and this is the other thing. I get in the big wide world of whatever, like these, to somebody, these 7 may look like mechanics that work on your car in a garage. I get that. Like, they didn't like whatever in physics and in holding grudges and signs of things. Here's what happens. I don't know anybody, not like a single human, other than like Lynn Lou and my couple of kids that are whatever. So these 7 in a picture book, if NASA put together this book and said it was important and they stuck me in some John and then some Glenn, he seems at Godspeed and the God kind of significant. I'm in an area where theoretically, if I look at the planet like this, and then I know energy kind of is working like this, and then I'm thinking to myself, I got pulled out of alignment with interdimensional science at space. But I also was kept out of education. So if I'm one of these and there's another one of these that I'm a flower and he's my bee, E, and there's a couple of these rattling around in the master machine while the humans are making all sorts of mistakes. Might this level of, I don't know, do they call it nuclear fission with the sunlight like this behind me? Maybe a couple of us interdimensional beings, which have significance that is not being spoken of, but we are being harmed. And it looks like almost house detention. I mean, for lack of a better term. So perhaps in climate change and in why are the poles and like the ice melting so fast in the master machine, if somebody's trying to remaneuver for human reasons and trying to make themselves more important, it if I'm going unacknowledged and not able to get to the right level of important people to be around in order to keep myself safe, perhaps there are others, and it's just like that one fringe pseudoscience, like, but it really exists. How are they going to solve climate change when they have me in 8-foot ceilings where I can't even get to the correct level of conversation? um I'm looking for signs of intelligence somewhere else in the universe, along with the Magic 7 or the Friendship 7. This month on Scouting Life, it says, "Here we go." In God we trust. It seems important, especially what Hochul's doing with some of the whatevers. So I see here, it says up here, it says, what even is a hitchin rack? Hitchin rack. says, I don't understand the name or what it has to do with you, Scout. Uh-huh. And then it says Airy, it crossed out Hitchin rack, and it says Airy on the Prairie. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's an A, Erie? And then that's a PR, air. Like Air Force, whatever. And then on the opposite page, it has what they've, like here, this, like, oh my gosh, like whose symbol is that? And this look, and it's got on here, remember that second marriage date, the blacksmith I never wanted to have to do after I already didn't want to do the crazy donkey marriage certificate and time with the man who tried to kill me, like by his own hands around my neck, that then got a 718 Lemaire wedding, and I got blacksmithed into a 5/15/15. Let's see who benefited. It looks like October. It says 9/15 and 10/15. I'm like, wow, if we're talking like, I don't know, NYPD would be like 10/13. I think they like FAB on that, or is that like a CB reference? I don't really know how to speak human, but like I'm an AIGH with a BE. It's kind of significant. And then I'm thinking back to after they moved me, they out, like I was in a 631, or I think back then it was a 516. Yeah, I think Lynn and Lou in the Glen back then, all of Nassau and Suffolk County were under a 516. Later on, they converted to a 631, but it was a 516. It was 718 straight into a 516. So they moved me from 718 into a 516 area code, and that's where I grew up, is under 516, but still like right on the border of that. 718 was just over into the Queens area, but I was in Suffolk. And then at some point, something happened, and then they moved me back to 718, and that's where I graduated St. John's Prep. But it did not prep me for anything moving forward. As far as like shams and whatever the hell's going on. But when I went back into 718 after growing up 516 at the Glen, going to St. John's Episcopal back then, I got moved in. I went to high school, St. John's Prep in Astoria. And I'm looking like back then, like when I moved back and had to go to Astoria senior year, there was not like I was not eating anything back then. No. So I'm looking to see what's there now. And it no longer, look at this, no longer 718. They're up to a 929 area code. Boy, they really ditched their friendship. As far as legendary men with real significance at the U.S., or what should have been. And I'm looking, it's called the Freakin' Rican. And it says, cater your party. Well, this was what was in 95, 96 when I got shoved back into the 718 area code as like the one. They called me French Vanilla, just so James Webb Telescope. I heard today that some French reference. And so I'm watching not only Scout magazine coming out with, now they've made themselves a Latino month after the 5/15/15 wedding I never wanted to have. They all of a sudden are celebrating themselves and their heritage with a 9/15 to 10/15 date, 15/15. And I'm still in the most disgusting relationship that I never wanted, in some like queer 75. So now let's go to the commercial. What does the commercial
This is the
say?
Freakin' Rican restaurant in Astoria, Queens. We serve authentic Puerto Rican food. When you come to the Freakin' Rican, I want you to feel a sense of community. You're part of our family. Dash Accelerator for local restaurants was a huge help because they gave us the grant that helped us start our delivery service.
So now I don't have a business. I wouldn't know what to do. But I also don't know how to get grants. I graduated St. John's Prep in a 718 before they ditched the local, regional, and long distance carrier for some other program that they don't explain. Just one bill. And now they're ditching the zip codes and the area codes. Seems at like Playbill and like the billing department and the audit department at Federal Reserve and US Treasury, it seems really significant of a detail. I don't know how it could be overlooked for so long, especially with my own position being so harmed. There's someone I refer to, like, if I have to put a label, I mean, whatever, on the spirit energy that I want to be with. Like if I was to encounter a CE5, just if it was able to happen and like world stood still and I went into a dimension outside of whatever this physical realm is that I'm trapped in, and he just opened me with like an embrace and I could just melt into him. Let's just put a label of JMG on that for a minute. That's what I aspire to. I mean, like, I know, like, I was joking around. I'm like, Special Task Force Mark, great. You look like a Mark, whether you're Eric's Mark or you're some other Mark that I don't know about, whatever. But that's the embrace I've wanted since I was, I think, 5, when I used to wake up from like dream realm and have to describe to Judy what was going on in my future that I was really frightened of. And that's who I wanted to be with. That's who I wanted to be with as a teenager. That's who I wanted to be with as a young adult. That's who I wanted to father all of my children. But that's not what happened. But he still exists in more than just a fantasy. But I'm stuck here in some disgusting accounting error, for lack of a better term, with some disruption in service. And this is going on. They're like distributing money to help small businesses, which I'm for, to keep small mom and pop shops open. I'm just not okay with the amount of heist that's gone on in order to fund these projects, which I call shadow projects.
They also provided a 7-week course. Without it, the business wouldn't have survived. It's been amazing, the partnership with them. I am Derek Lopez, and I am the original Freakin' Rican.
How would you enjoy your...
So we've got Freakin' Rican there. They've taken a month to honor themselves in the Stiafrio 5/15/15. Like, why is it not from the 1st to the 1st? I don't know. Why was I married to a person on the 15th of the 15th year in 20th century? After 2010, there was some blacksmith, just more stuff that I don't even want to have to go through. Main objective, I just want to get to JMG. Whatever that means in Master Machine. There's some stuff that's going on. And again, this is just a public library book. So I don't get like yelled at for something else. But if my one position at Special Flower with Special Seed is off and it's not being handled properly, I don't know how many others there might be. And as far as inside other areas of the machine, since somebody went through the trouble of drawing it, if it's radiating out different levels. I mean, when I look up from my person in the night sky to the sky, the stars, they almost dance because there's so much, not friction, but there's so much vibration going on. and I don't know why. And then I look at Ancient Aliens and the whole UFO phenomenon, and I see that there's something called a SETI, SETI, where they send, or they take a telescope, and it seems like really, I'm sorry, but it just seems, if I'm going to be 100% honest, as being trapped in 8-foot ceilings, and I didn't get opportunity to do this myself. I'm not part of these research and development projects, but they get funded in order to point a satellite at a star position and listen. I mean, like in a story format, it's hilarious because I'm like, did anything ever come out of that? But like, for my purpose, needing to like reach out to Friendship 7, hoping that there's a federal something in US Treasury looks like family or friendship, or the kind that knows how to get to JMG and help him with what I need to get me out of 8-foot ceilings. And what on earth is wrong with all the children? Seriously, that this much time has gone on and I'm not able to like advance. Today, I've been putting in, I put my resume up on Monster. I was grateful. Somebody actually, one person, it hasn't happened in years. But somebody actually called me. Turns out, I don't know if it has to do with my exit in Canada. It was something from some place called Morristown, New Jersey. It's 2 hours from here. Um, but again, and I was grateful for the phone call. I thanked her. Um, so I did get one phone call, so I update my record. Did it fruit into something at this point? No. Um, but I'm still applying. I'm still trying. But it was a position that was more than $38,000 a year if I was able to get it. And I was surprised that she called. I was grateful, but I was surprised, I'll be honest, because of how the ad read, where it requires this bachelor's degree. And again, like, I graduated from high school. Why was there not avid training in order to set me at a level that I could just then go straight and apply for jobs and apply myself? Where was the tech? There was no technical training. There was no prep work. Like, even though it said St. John's Prep, it was not like what one would expect with that level of wording. It's almost like false advertising. Um, so again, and then I go out to Lynn and Lou and I explain to them what called me back, and right away they're just like, you're not qualified for that. And I'm like, this is some of the hurdles being stuck in the field like this while other people are advancing, that I've incurred. And again, I look to things like Grudge and Signs, and then I see Friendship 7 and they're not even being spoken of or taught about, and I don't know why that is. And I'm like, I mean, to me, they're more than just mechanics. Although maybe they're the quantifier, like the time capsule. Like again, if you're I'm thinking like ways to relate. If you're in the space capsule, even though you just might be some mechanic or some pilot to some other theory physicist who got hired by some tactical operation, and you just look down upon the people that served in some other way. Like, there's an outer heat shield that protects the pilot, and it's like, that's how I think of the Mercury 7, is they are the sheets of metal that protect the inner safety of the pilot. And they might be on their own mission together, although they might interact quantumly with other things. Like there is that opportunity to come and hold together to keep that pilot safe in the center, for the one mission, for whatever that is. And at this point, it's the planet's overheating. I mean, I've heard a lot of people mention it, and I'm still stuck in 8-foot ceilings, and I don't have chalkboard and know how to, like, I don't speak fancy, whatever. I'm at like juvenile book, late stage in staging of my life. And there's some serious issues with why is John's area code starting to disintegrate and fall apart? It's like instead of making the full 7 orbits around the planet, it started disintegrating at the 3rd orbit and heating up. And they had to pull him back into like whatever. It's like one of those moments, team, in his team, and like I don't really know like how else you send a friendly message, and there's some things going on and I don't know the right people in order to say I have some ideas and some ways to quantify them. I just don't know why I keep getting blacksmith, crazy donkeyed, and toilet papered. I mean, like, I didn't deserve this. I don't know what they're up to, but it seems like something's seriously wrong on multiple levels and multiple occasions. And I don't know how to pull it together on my own. I'm doing the best that I can with the tools that I can find, and I'm in this. So it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cataruza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.